everyone, thank you for joining us for our 2021 Annual Awards presentation for the UWM Research Foundation. This is for all the amazing work and inventions that our researchers have created at UWM. We're sad to say we're not in person this year at our reception and hope to see you at it next year. But please do enjoy and learn more. And first, I'd like to share with you a video from our Chancellor, Mark Money.
Welcome, and thank you for joining. Even though we can't be together, we're here to celebrate tonight the innovative ideas of the incredible researchers at UWM, or I should say a handful of them. These are the types of individuals that have helped propel UW-Milwaukee to become a Carnegie Top Research University. That's top 3% out of 4,700 universities that are ranked according to the Carnegie Institution. It's tonight that we'll celebrate 6 newly issued patents, 4 new technology licenses, 3 licenses to a UWM-funded startup, and 3 Idea Advance Award recipients. You know, putting this in perspective, we have experienced tremendous growth over the last 15 years. In fact, today we stand with 101 issued patents. To show you the growth, we had 87 last year. We have 77 pending applications where we had 75 last year. Tonight, we're able to talk about 48 active license and option agreements, where we had 48 last year. So despite the pandemic, the momentum continues. Your support makes that happen. We really do appreciate the dedication, the passion, the ingenuity that our newest group of awardees brings to this type of momentum. We also sincerely thank 11 of the 14 awardees today and point out that 11 of those 14 have either co-founded or are exploring startup company options. That speaks volumes about the entrepreneurial spirit and what we do at the university. It doesn't stay at the university. It really does have an impact on the larger ecosystem that's so critically important to regional economic development and vitality. So it's, as Brian Thompson and Jessica Silvaggi, our incredible leaders, often say, it's that we're a small tech transfer office, but our efforts and processes are top-notch. We still continue to need your help and support despite this growth. We need to make sure that UWM is not a hidden gem, but in fact is the go-to university for partnering, for innovation, licensing, entrepreneurship. So what I'd ask you is to share your stories widely. It's those experiences that are so valuable in many different ways. I like to say, please help us put the social in social media. Thank you. Thank you so much, and congratulations once again to all our awardees and those who've helped support you.
First off, we want to give you a big thank you, inventors and researchers. We really appreciate all that you do. And this is from Jessica Silvaggi, the Director of Technology Commercialization, Brian Thompson, the President of the Research Foundation, and of course our Chancellor Mark Money, and really all those that have worked with you. Each year, we like to have this awards ceremony so we can recognize newly issued patents from the last year, technologies that were either licensed to an outside company or licensed to the inventors through their own startup company, or those startups that were selected for the Idea Advance program through the Center for Technology Commercialization in the past year. First up are our patent awards. This year, there were 6 newly issued patents since our last reception, bringing our total to 121 issued patents to date since we were formed in 2006. We also have 72 pending patent applications currently. First up, we have Chad Henneberry. As a UWM athletic trainer, Chad was treating a UWM soccer player with a knee injury when he realized he wanted a device that would work on strength training and balance at the same time, but he couldn't find a hands-free device. He then invented the HydroCore vest with a system of water-filled tubing, which wraps around and helps this target the stabilizer muscle groups during rehab or fitness. Chad has formed an LLC and licensed this patent from the UWMRF and is focusing now on how to best manufacture the tubing for the vest. Dr. Woojin Chang and his lab have collaborated with researchers at UW-Madison to create a novel heavy metal sensor. The project was initially funded by the Water Equipment and Policy Center at UWM and is licensed by 3 of the center members non-exclusively. Dr. Chang has formed the startup Septillionth himself and is working with one of the licensees this year to create a working handheld prototype for lead detection, which could be used both residentially or commercially in the realms such as well drilling and wastewater treatment. Dr. Yong Jin Sung has developed an imaging device that uses holography and tomography to provide real-time snapshots of cells or materials in a 3D fashion quickly and accurately. This method could be used with biological samples or in quality assurance to detect impurities or contaminants in samples. We are looking for partners to test the device with cells or in quality assurance settings. Dr. Marcia Silva and Dr. David Garman have developed a modified zeolite material that can remove phosphorus from contaminated water sources. The phosphorus can be recovered for reuse, and the porous mineral material can be used again for further decontamination. This technology has been licensed by Zeolite Australia and is undergoing scale-up for commercial use. This patent from Dr. James Cook and his laboratory is part of a portfolio of drug compounds targeting the GABA A receptors of the brain and is focused on aiding cognition and depression. The patent is jointly owned by the Center for Addiction and Mental Health in Canada. We currently are negotiating a license with a new startup formed in Canada for which an executive team is currently being recruited. Dr. Dan Knutson and James Cook have collaborated with a multinational team to develop novel compounds for the potential treatment of migraine, tic disorders, orofacial pain, and neuropsychiatric disorders. These compounds are selective, non-sedating, long-lasting, and less likely to be addictive as compared to drugs on the market. We are looking for partners to move the lead compound into the FDA pipeline. Next up, we have our licensing awards. We like to honor those technologies that have made it to the next step in commercialization and have been licensed to a company for further development. Currently, the UWM RF has 47 active license or option agreements. Since our last event, we've had 6 new license agreements. 3 are licenses to outside companies, and 3 are with our own UWM startups. Dr. James Cook, Distinguished Professor Emeritus, has worked for decades on a program of compounds selective for specific GABA A receptors in the brain. In collaboration with Drs. Stafford and Arnold in the Department of Chemistry and Biochemistry and researchers at Columbia University, it was found that these receptors also exist in the lung. The team has found leads that are effective in animal models of asthma but do not enter the brain. The technology has been licensed to Pantherix Incorporated, a UWM startup founded by the inventors. Dr. James Cook has also developed GABA A targeted compounds for use in the treatment of epilepsy. Respire RX Pharmaceuticals Inc. has licensed compounds that show promise for treatment of epilepsy and other convulsant disorders. These are important because available anticonvulsants are often not effective over time. The New Jersey-based startup closed a $2 million funding round in 2020. Dr. Marcia Silva, scientist and facility manager of UWM's Water Technology Accelerator, and her team have developed a device which uses acoustic amplification to detect biofilm formations in pipes. Biofilms are colonies of bacteria that form on surfaces, can be difficult to remove, and are associated with illness. This work was supported by the UWM Water Equipment and Policy Center and licensed by member Watts Water non-exclusively. Dr. Marcia Silva and her team have also created a modified natural porous adsorbent material known as zeolite with graphene and sulfide-based materials to enhance its properties for removing pollutants such as heavy metals and organics from a water supply. This work was also originally supported by the Water Equipment Policy Center and was licensed non-exclusively by Watts Water. Lindsay Roddy, an RN and founder and CEO of Roddy Medical LLC, has executed an exclusive license for the medical tubing organizer she created while a UWM graduate student. The device solves the problem of vital medical lines being mistakenly pulled out when patients move or are moved. Kyle Jansen, director of the UWM Prototyping Center, was instrumental in developing the prototypes of the tubing organizer, now known as Safe Mover, and acts as director of engineering for the company. Pantherix Incorporated was founded by Douglas Stafford, director of the Milwaukee Institute for Drug Discovery at UWM, and Alexander Arnold, professor of chemistry and biochemistry. And it recently merged with a California startup to create a platform company working on therapeutics for GABA targets that are not located in the central nervous system. The compounds will allow asthma to be treated with a pill rather than with steroid inhalers. Ascending Hearing Technologies LLC executed an exclusive license for a personal sound amplification device created by co-founders Yi Hu, a UWM electrical engineer, and clinician Christina Runge at the Medical College of Wisconsin. The device, which is easy to use with a smartphone, provides an alternative to expensive hearing aids. In 2019, the company was awarded a $263,000 Small Business Technology Transfer federal grant. Next up, we have our Idea Advance Awards. This program, funded by the UW System and WEDC, administered by the Institute for Business and Entrepreneurship Center for Technology Commercialization, aims to empower new and experienced entrepreneurs to focus on key go-to-market activities using lean startup methodologies. We are pleased to announce grant winners from 2020. Lindsay Roddy and Roddy Medical LLC received a Phase 2 Idea Advance Award of $50,000 for their Safe Mover technology for organization and safe movement of hospital patients when attached to medical tubing like IVs. The team is focusing on manufacturing design and the FDA regulatory aspects with a goal to go to market in 2022. Isabel Villaforte created Mitzi. This company is focused on makeup tools that are easier to clean than products on the market now. Isabel received a $25,000 Idea Advance Phase 1 award, and the teams also won a $10,000 First Prize award in 2019 for the UWM Scheinfeld Entrepreneurial Competition. Dr. Rebecca Holderness received a $25,000 Phase 1 award from Idea Advance for her startup 2 Feet Design and Data. This web-based technology aids in making housing proposal development faster, more precise, cheaper, and more accessible to a new class of real estate developers. The tool will lower the barrier to entry for entrepreneurial developers. Again, we truly would like to thank all of you, our faculty, students, and staff, all of our innovators, those that are entrepreneurial, and those submitting inventions. Without you, there would be no research foundation, and we couldn't help you with your endeavors. We look forward to seeing more from you, and hopefully next year in person. And we ask all of those of you viewing this awards ceremony to share it and to reach out at any time to learn more about our inventions and our technologies and speak with our inventors further. Thank you again.